My daughter's been getting headaches for the past like 2 weeks, and we literally sent her to the doctor. They couldn't figure out what's going on. We have no idea what's going on. She's been going to the nurse multiple times a day. And come to find out, the videos that I've seen on TikTok are all fucking true. There's literally lead in this toothpaste.
Hey friends, welcome back. Thanks so much for being here. Not sure if you saw that clip over on X, but when I saw it, it made my blood boil just like it made that father's blood boil because I use Tom's. Well, at least I used to. Got a great short and sweet show ready for you here today. My guest, Larry Obereu, knows a thing or two about silver, and we provide a silver update today, and he knows a thing or two about TPUSA because he was just at AmFest with his company FreshMouth.club, and guess what? He's got a thing or two to say about AmFest and TPUSA as well. Friends, we're going to dig in deep in this one, and we're going to help you prevent what happened to the little girl in that show open by getting you set up with the good stuff. That's a promise. All right, before we start, just a quick word about a valued sponsor. We've all seen the headlines about those miracle weight loss shots, but the 2026 data is officially in, and it's a wake-up call. A major analysis revealed that once people stop taking those injections, they regain an average of 60% of the weight within a year. Even worse, most of that gain is pure fat, but the muscle they lost stays gone, leaving them with a crashed metabolism and a body that's functionally older than when they began. That's why I know you're going to be obsessed with today's sponsor, GLP-1 Elevate. Instead of using needles to override your body's system, it uses clinically studied plant-based ingredients like metabolate to help your body naturally boost its own hunger control signals. You'll get the same fullness and fewer cravings, but without the scary side effects or the metabolic rebound. GLP-1 Elevate supports your goals while protecting your muscle, so you can actually keep the results for good. To celebrate Valentine's Day, get 50% off GLP-1 Elevate at trimwithsgt.com. Every order includes a complete support bundle with free VIP coaching for life, a 60-day money-back guarantee, and free express shipping on subscriptions. Head to trimwithsgt.com right now to claim your 50% discount before it expires. The link is below. Hey friends, welcome back. Thanks so much for being here. Sean from SGT Report. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but 2 videos went up last night. And the second one, it was only about 10 minutes long, stream of consciousness, market, end of empire. Why did I make that video? Well, if y'all were watching last night, silver was around $90, $91 an ounce in Asian markets, but just for a minute. Then it plummeted down to 77 in just a couple of hours. A watershed event, some are calling it a 10 sigma event, meaning that it should not happen in a market, a healthy market, a real market, a free market, a fair market, in 1 trillion years. Okay, should not happen, but it keeps happening. Why, I wonder. My thumbnail says it all. Laughing criminal bankers who think they can get away with it because they actually do get away with trafficking children, and as the Epstein drops attest to, in some cases murdering children, at least their buddies do, so they don't want you to have any respite from the storm. They don't want you in gold. They don't want you in physical silver. They don't want you in Bitcoin. So where are you supposed to run? Tech stocks? It sort of feels like the whole house of cards is coming down, does it not? By the way, I didn't even realize this was the case. Those that follow Bitcoin are probably well aware of Binance, the shady organization that seems to play a major role in manipulating crypto. Well, guess what? I had no idea. Silver has been listed on Binance. And as I noted, there is one and only one reason to list silver futures settled in USDT on the crooked platform known as Binance. And that reason, folks, is to manipulate the price of physical silver. We've got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to play this clip from Erik Kirk, and boy, is it positively priceless. But let me welcome my guest first. He's the founder of FreshMouth, FreshMouth.club.com, Larry Obereu. And boy, are you guys in for some information that will make your toes curl today regarding toothpastes, even the alternative, healthier toothpastes. Larry, how are you, sir?
Hey, very good, Sean. Thanks for having me on. It's great to be here.
Hey, great to meet you, and met you through a mutual friend right before you guys went off to Turning Point AmFest recently. Perhaps we'll talk a little bit about that because I think you might have a thing or two to say about this clip I'm going to play from Erika Kirk. But before we go there, your thoughts on what keeps happening in silver and gold as the metal continues to be drained from the LBMA and the COMEX. The metal's moving to the east. The Chinese want it. In fact, they want it so badly they don't want to export any physical silver. But I guess the paper games will continue, right?
Absolutely. I mean, silver, this is part of the financial collapse of the old system is what it is. And, silver, mark my words, silver will go well over $1,000 an ounce. And it was well on its way to do that before it was suppressed. And it was, you're 100% right. This was artificial, playing with the market and deflating or devaluing the silver, pulling it down. And it was really all about JP Morgan. JP Morgan had, they short silver, they have short silver. A lot of people don't realize they got caught. It's called it was called the London fix.
Yep.
That was back in the late 90s, early 2000s, right in there. The London fix, basically, they had a big club. None of us are part of it, of course, but they got together in London. And it basically, what they did was manipulated the prices of precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, you name it, all of that. So they artificially deflated it, set the values of it. They basically just put it out here. This is what we're going to put silver at. It's going to be $15. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. They just dictated that. They shorted silver. They've been shorting silver for a very long time. They have, put options on silver, so they short the market, so they make money on it when it goes down. They lose billions of dollars every day trading, shorting silver. But the thing is that they make hundreds of billions on the other side by shorting it. So that's why. So they have these short positions and they can't get out of them. As silver rises, what is that going to do? It's going to destroy banks. Literally will destroy them overnight. And that's why we've seen the devaluation of the silver. They can't have it. The banks, when you get up into the 120 range, all the margin calls are going to happen. And those shorts are going to have to be paid. They don't have the money and they don't have the silver. They have neither. So, because the paper price of silver is so overinflated, it's about 500 to 1. For 1 ounce of silver is sold 500 times. Imagine that. If you or I did that, Sean, we'd go to jail in a heartbeat. Like no questions asked, do not pass go, do not collect $200, you'd be out. But these guys, they just, they get to do whatever they want to. And it is, like you said, becoming blatantly obvious that what happened to silver is not normal, not natural. It is completely artificial. And that's starting to come out as well. They even had a few articles. I don't know if you ran across those, but like that the silver, the true value of it, even, and this came from Bank of America and I want to say JP Morgan, but I don't want to go on. But anyway, Bank of America for sure. They said that silver would be over $400 an ounce by the second quarter this year, over $400. So there's all these reportings that that's where it's headed, but yet, that it took a sharp turn downwards. That's because it allowed some of these banks to kind of exit. But they're also not telling you that a couple of banks already have went insolvent. Now this information came out like last week. They're saying they hit it. They said there's one of the top 5 banks in the world that do precious metals is already completely insolvent, and they were not releasing the name of the bank. And now they're saying other banks are suffering as well. Banks will absolutely go insolvent over this silver squeeze. And it's meant to. They've been messing with this and devaluating our money and playing around with this stuff for way too long. It's time for it all to come out, and hoping it is.
Wow. Guys, check out the big brain on Larry. I had no idea you were this dialed into silver. You make a great silver guest, and here you're the toothpaste guy, Larry. No, well done, well done.
Well, we do have silver in our toothpaste, so
Well, that's true, and we're going to talk about that. But I just want to remind people, market end of empire. If you guys get a chance, just listen to this 10-minute stream of consciousness rant, because to me, it's game over. I mean, what they did for the whole world to witness last night as we're having this conversation, so that would have been the evening of February 4th, is absolutely beyond the pale criminal. And it was done for the whole world to see. So there is no more pretense. Even the fable of a free market no longer exists. Okay, they've taken the gloves off and they don't care. They will defend their banking empires by crushing silver if they can. And by the way, they think they can get away with it, folks. They also think they can get away with child sex trafficking, satanic ritual abuse, and the murdering of children, as we're seeing in the Epstein files. Now, why am I saying that and showing the Rothschilds? Well, because the Rothschilds, Larry just mentioned the London gold fix. The Rothschilds got out of the London gold fix after playing a significant role in London gold fixing since it was established September 12th, 1919. They got out in May 2004. I think even Rothschild saw the writing on the wall with all the paper, gold and silver, and they thought, you know what, let's leave the last 10% to somebody else. That's what I think happened. Now, 2004, that's 20 years ago, guys. But why do I bring up Epstein? Well, because in one of these new Epstein drops, we have Jeffrey Epstein literally saying, quote, "As you know, I represent Rothschild," end quote. So they truly think they can get away with all measure of crime. That's why it's so important that people comb through these new Epstein emails and talk about them with the outrage that they ought to be talked about with. Because, folks, if we let this stuff just go water under the bridge, like, oh, it's just another leak showing how criminal and evil these people are without doing anything about it, then we are complicit in their crimes and we give them permission to continue. These people need to be rounded up, indicted, and tried for their crimes, which leads me to this positively priceless clip. Erika Kirk on Fox News. Listen to this. Erika Kirk, she wants the government to explain the narrative so there's no confusion as to who did it and why. This is one of the most clumsy sound bites you will ever hear from a mourning widow regarding the assassination of her husband.
I wonder, when you talk about, the trial of Tyler Robinson, and you have been very forthright saying, listen, I think we need cameras in court. And the reason you say we need cameras in court is not because you want this to be, you want this to be on the record. You want everything to be on the record. You want transparency, and you want to make sure there is nobody trying to twist this in any kind of outlying organization trying to twist this into something it's not. Is that a fair assessment of why you want this thing out there and transparent?
Okay, before you guys hear from Erika, just imagine how this clown cues this up for her, trying to disparage people like Candace Owens doing a real investigation without ever bringing up Candace's name. Other people, too, doing the investigation, Baron Coleman. You've got so many people out there that are uncovering the truth about this nation-state operation to assassinate Charlie Kirk. He cues it up in the most softball, collegiate way possible. And here's how Erika hits the ball.
Absolutely. I want there to be no hesitation in understanding of what happened to my husband that day. I want there to always be full transparency, because what I don't want to have happen is for there not to be, and then I am relying then on social media and other news outlets to explain the narrative rather than saying, hey, this is what happened, this is what here's all of the, it's hard, all of the facts on the table for you guys to see, and you guys can see on full display what happened to my husband, and there is no ifs, ands, or buts or confusion as to who did it and why.
You guys, honest to God, if this was Saturday Night Live, I'd be like, that's a pretty good sketch. That is a pretty good sketch. That is what she cares about. She wants the U.S. government to provide the narrative for the public so that there is no hesitation in understanding what happened to my husband that day, period. Interesting. She wants the government to declare that lone gunman Tyler Robinson pulled this whole thing off with a weapon that would have blown Charlie's head off. Full stop, period. Then nobody can talk about this ever again, and Erika Kirk can go on with her tens of millions of dollars in TPUSA money. I don't know. Am I too cynical, Larry?
Not at all. Not at all. That's yeah. I mean, it's just yeah. She wants to solidify the one narrative that they want everybody to believe. And you'd think, hey, if she really is truly a grieving widow and cares about Charlie and all this stuff, I mean, wouldn't you actually want to get to the bottom of it, not just like slap a label on something and throw it out there and mass merchandise it and have everybody, follow along with it? I mean, if there's information out there that doesn't kind of set well, I mean, I know I'd want it to be the bottom, to get to the bottom of it. It just seems that she does not. She just wants the mainstream narrative just to be shoved down everybody's throat.
Well, you know what I think is becoming abundantly clear for those paying attention to anything she says and her lack of alibis for where she was on September 8th and September 10th. She's clearly, to me at least, a sociopathic narcissist. And she loves the limelight, but she doesn't love any of the questions, and she wants the government to fix this for her so she can go on with her life as an asset, some intelligence asset, because that much is clear to me. Larry, she's an intel asset. And you guys had the pleasure, I guess, of going to Turning Point AmFest recently, you and a couple of folks from your company. Can you just, without getting too into it, you don't need to disparage TPUSA because who knows, maybe you want to go back. But me, I ain't ever going there. I don't like those people. I think it's a Zionist infiltrated organization. What was the air? What was the temperature like this year? How did it differ from past years, in your opinion?
It differed dramatically. Everything about the show was completely different. I mean, you could even tell by just the general caring about about the vendors there and people selling and stuff, and they were very, very accommodating. Charlie walked the expos halls constantly, was directing people to them. He gave a lot of he gave a lot of, told everybody, pushed them. He wanted the vendors to be successful and really help it because they were an integral part of their whole program anyway. I mean, we brought a lot of money into the show. I mean, so that helps pay for things. So, really got along really well. It was a complete disconnect. I mean, you could tell they just didn't care. They cut people off. They locked the expo halls down. They weren't open the hours that they were supposed to. They didn't funnel people through it. They just let people out the other side. So it was just you could tell like they really just didn't care. It was like once they got your money, it was kind of like, hey, whatever, we're not here for this. We're here for that. And there was a huge, I mean, you could, there was a lot of like, I guess, I'll just say it, that is the presence of the Israel and the whole, all that was really, really prevalent. I mean, there was 3 or 4 booths just talking about Jewish propaganda and stuff like that. And, to me, it was just kind of like, wow, it was pretty amazing, the things that they were trying to push. And to me, it became pretty evident that they were, Charlie did a really great job of getting the youth involved. Phenomenal, really. And he had a huge Christian, theme to those shows. They held church, and the church, the services that they had were amazing. They were huge. Oh my God, tens of thousands of people. They really were amazing. And that got shut down. And now you see kind of a narrative being switched there that like Christianity and Judaism are kind of one and the same, and they're symbiotic. And I mean, they're just not. I mean, they're not. Not being anti-Semite.
No, you don't have to be an anti-Semite to notice that, because it's all over the Epstein emails. The way Epstein talks about the goyim, we're there to serve them. We are their cattle to be used at their pleasure. For whatever reasons, business purposes, sexual purposes. I mean, literally, they're sacrificing kids to Moloch in the backyard. I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. I mean, it's their words, not yours.
No, and that's what I mean. You just I mean, just trying to drive a different narrative. Like, they had T-shirts that were given away, Jesus is the Messiah. Well, I do believe that, but they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, since when did the Jews actually recognize Jesus? But yet that's what they're pushing. It's like, oh, he's the true Messiah.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
trying
to that
like,
end, by the way, Erika Kirk was very excited in that Zoom call she did, I think 11 days after Charlie's assassination, or was it 5.5 days after? I can't remember which one it was, in which she was giddy about the merch sales. So she's talking about her assassinated. She wasn't actually talking about Charlie at all, but she was giddy to talk about all the money that was flooding in the merch sales. And I didn't mean to interrupt, but I do have a question for you, and then you can go ahead again. But the tent that they had there, the actual tent, or at least a replica of the tent that Charlie was murdered in, was there. And I didn't know this. Were they charging people to take a photo in that tent, or was it free? Not that it matters. It's obviously sick and morbid, totally dark regardless. And whoever came up with this is a very sick person. But then I heard they were charging people a fee to take a selfie. Do you know anything about that?
I can't, verify that. I don't know. I did see the booth and I know people were taking pictures. I don't know if they paid for it or not, but I mean, that would be interesting. I wouldn't be shocked though not whatsoever.
Well, what a sick and demented story. And I'm just bemused by the fact that Erika Kirk actually thinks that once Tyler Robinson is convicted, by the way, the government has zero case, zero, zilch, nada, no case. But if they convict him, then she thinks she can just get back to her life as normal as a jet-setting intelligence agent, and nobody will have any more questions. You can't make this stuff up. Let's take a look at FreshMouth.club.com, guys. Here's the store. We're going to talk about these products. Why? Well, because I had no idea that toothpaste is bad for you. Let me amend that. I obviously knew that the major brands with fluoride are poisonous. Fluoride is literally a neurotoxin. But evidently, a brand called Knobs, never heard of this one, contains silica dioxide, which is not only a neurotoxin, but also wrecks your gut and skyrockets liver enzymes. Now, that's one man's opinion. I will say allegedly. But what I do want to share is this outraged father talking about what he found in Tom's toothpaste, a toothpaste I use because I falsely believed it to be far healthier than the fluoride-based toothpastes. Listen to this. And pardon the expletive, guys. He's very angry.
My blood is absolutely fucking boiling right now. If you're a parent, whatever you do, do not buy this fucking toothpaste. My daughter's been getting headaches for the past 2 weeks. And we literally sent her to the doctor. They couldn't figure out what's going on. We have no idea what's going on. She's been going to the nurse multiple times a day. And come to find out, the videos that I've seen on TikTok are all fucking true. There's literally lead in this toothpaste. I tested out all these other toothpastes to make sure that they were fine and they were clean. And none of the other ones came back with lead. But sure enough, the one that she's been using for the last 2 weeks, because I thought that it was healthy, I thought it was the healthier choice, that I would give her some clean toothpaste that didn't have all these artificial ingredients. And lo and behold, it has fucking lead in it. It's lead. It's full of fucking lead. This is insane, Toms. I've been giving my daughter fucking toothpaste and my son toothpaste full of lead. And they've been going to the doctor with headaches. They've been going to the nurse with headaches every single day. This is insane.
It truly is insane. I'm coming back to Larry. Larry, okay, so riddle me this. Johnson & Johnson got caught putting asbestos in the baby powder. I don't think that can happen by accident, but ... maybe. Maybe in the Twilight Zone universe in which we live, that stuff happens by accident. Can it be an accident that lead allegedly has been found in Tom's toothpaste?
Not at all. I mean, first of all, Tom's got bought out by Crest in 2013. So a lot of people don't realize that. So, they're part of the big four, really. There's only 4 toothpaste companies in the entire world that basically control the entire industry. They're not good. They're not good for us in any way, shape, or form. And to be honest, I mean, lead's probably one of the more tamer things that are in there. I mean, fluoride is way worse than lead, so it's way more toxic. Not that lead is good, and that should not be in our toothpaste, but they actually do have aluminum in their toothpaste as well. Tom's does, so that's part of their natural ingredient list. So they actually put that right on the label. Aluminum is in there. So they changed the formulation immediately after they bought Tom's. They started adding fluoride to it. They put SLS, they put, parabens, and they put aluminum and lead and all kinds of other crap in there. So it is not a good toothpaste. And this is kind of the norm. None of these toothpastes are good. And fluoride, specifically, I mean, fluoride, people don't realize what fluoride actually is. I mean, fluoride is toxic waste. I mean, that's literally what it is. It's not natural. It doesn't come from the ground. It's not good for us in any way, shape, or form. It does not help our oral biome. It actually keeps it in stress, and it actually causes a lot of problems. Most of the problems that we have orally are actually caused by the products on the market. I mean, fluoride, again, toxic waste. It's literally a byproduct of the phosphate fertilizer companies. So when they make phosphate fertilizer and aluminums, in factories, chemical factories, the waste byproduct is fluoride. And so it is literally toxic waste. And actually, that's not even disputed. I mean, you go back in history, I mean, that's what fluoride was. Toxic waste. We used it as a pesticide. We killed roaches and rodents with it. It is the main ingredient in rat poison. So yeah, it kills biological systems in our body. That's what it does. And, again, toxic waste of the heavy industrial and also the military industrial complex. So the military loves fluoride. Why? Because fluoride, there's a little known fact about fluoride is fluoride actually enriches uranium. What that does is makes bombs blow up. So without fluoride, bombs don't blow up. Now we kind of get to the real root reason of why fluoride exists and why we've normalized it and put it out in the public and made everybody think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, because the military needs it to make bombs blow up. Without fluoride, bombs don't blow up. Not a good thing for, the U.S. if we're trying to bomb up people. Actually, in the 40s, when we had the arms race, other countries were actually using fluoride as well. They had to stop using it because, their population, the people that were working with it were dying, getting cancer, having all kinds of, chronic disorders and everything. So they had to stop. Well, the United States, we doubled down on it. So we went heavier into it. China, a lot of people give, China like a bad rap and, for some good reasons for sure. But, they fluorinated their water back in the 70s and they stopped by 1980. And why was that? Because their population's teeth were deteriorating and they had worse oral health care and their teeth were falling out. So China stopped. We did not. So we kept going, perpetuated the lies and everything else and put it out there. Like I said, normalized it, let people, it was a complete rebranding is what they did. They rebranded fluoride to avoid liability because when people were making this stuff and getting cancer, of course, you can't have them suing the government and winning all kinds of money, right? So they had to rebrand this, normalize it, added it to our water and in our toothpaste. Number one, it helps for disposal. They're getting rid of their toxic waste.
Yeah, they're getting paid. They're getting paid to get rid of it. And municipalities will literally pay them to put it in your city water supply. And by the way, okay, I didn't know fluoride can be used to enrich uranium. Is that what you said?
Yep, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, it can also be used to reduce IQ. Fluoride reduces IQ. The studies are clear. So the studies have been done, independent third-party lab testing of popular toothpastes. This from Lead Safe Mama. Of the 51 toothpastes and tooth powders tested to date by Lead Safe Mama LLC through our community collaborative, 35% tested positive for cadmium, 47% tested positive for mercury, 65% tested positive for arsenic. Arsenic and old lace. Arsenic, isn't that how you can poison somebody back in the 50s? You want to kill your husband or your wife, you give them arsenic? I think they made movies about it. 90% tested positive for lead. Folks, I don't even know what to say anymore. First of all, if we can't trust Crest any more than we can trust Johnson and Johnson, and Crest bought Tom's, so we can't trust Tom's. So I bring people on, right, that I trust because they sell healthful products. But Larry, what I never realized is that, oh, sure, we take these vitamins, we take these supplements through our mouth, but guess what? We brush our teeth with toxic toothpaste that leads to some of the same ailments we take vitamins to prevent. So the reason I wanted to get you on is for that reason. What is the call to action here for folks so they can get this healthful toothpaste, and tell them about the ingredients, the good ingredients, including nano silver?
Yeah. So we kind of eliminated, all the garbage in there. We don't use the leads, the aluminums, the SLSs, or anything like that. But we do address the issue of the bacterial issues of killing it. That's where your nano silver comes in. Very, very beneficial for our body. We try to keep it as holistic and organic as possible. We're not a powder, so we do use like xanthan gum and methyl xanthan gum, cellulose gum, which are all from trees, very, very very organic. Sorbitol, which is actually comes from the sorbic tree, which is your like plums and dates and stuff like that. Those are all from sorbitol. That's what that is. So it's a natural sugar that doesn't spike insulin and things like that. So we try to keep it very, very clean, very healthy. Nothing harmful in it whatsoever. You can eat it, you can swallow it. I don't recommend to swallow it, but it also is very effective because of the nano silver. The nano silver, like I said, just keeps our mouth super healthy by kicking out all the bad stuff and not the good stuff, and promoting that really healthy mouth biome, which is essential to our body as a whole. And then, like I said, we do everything from toothbrushes to floss and everything on our website. We sell kits. We have whole kits that will do subscription benefits for us. So we'll kind of just send you the stuff. Because the other thing, like, your toothbrush is, thing that doesn't get talked about a lot, but the toothbrush is the filthiest thing in your house, more bacteria than your toilet. And we stick it in our mouth every day, not thinking about it. They actually can,
that's so disgusting. No, I know you have a device here that can help also disinfect your toothbrush. And tell people, though, about the club, though. How does the club work? The monthly subscription, I think people can save 5% if they use code SGT. Let's get to the brass tacks here so that people that don't want to have diseased mouths, courtesy of Crest and Tom's, allegedly. Right. What do they do?
Yeah, we do whole kits. So we kind of send everything to you: new toothbrush, toothpaste, mouthwash, floss, timer. The whole shop will send it out right to your door. We deliver it for free. If you do the subscription, you don't have to. You can buy everything individually as well. But the kits, we kind of give you everything you need. We use UV sanitation, which is what you were getting to with the toothbrush. So we UV even our Sonics. So we do Sonics as well. Those have built-in UVs into them, as well as our manual systems. Because, again, we want to start with a good, clean toothbrush. We don't want to keep reinfecting ourselves. The average toothbrush has about 100 million strands of bacteria living on it, and we just stick it in our mouth and swish it around. Rinse it off at the end, and that's it. So all that stuff just festers and grows and perpetuates. The UV actually breaks that all down, eliminates it all, and actually you can start with a clean one. And you actually should replace the brush every single month. That's what we recommend. That's why we do the monthly subscription. Every month we just send you a new one along with everything else you need. But you can do 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. We kind of adjust that according to whatever everybody's brushing habits would dictate out. But we start with a good clean brush and replace that on an ongoing basis so you're not infecting yourself.
All right, guys, the links are below. FreshMouth.club. You can save 5% with coupon code SGT. Any last calls to action here, Larry?
Hey, I mean, our mouth is very important. You want to make sure that you take care of it. Try to get rid of some of that stuff like the video showed. I mean, there's horrific things in some of these toothpaste. We're feeding it to our kids. So it is very important. Our mouth and our mouth health, overall health, is super important to us and our children. We want to make sure that we're using good stuff and that's not contaminated and fluoride, which is ruining even like you had mentioned, it reduces IQ by as much as 20%, proven fact. So we don't need to harm our kids by that's one way to kill the bacteria using the fluoride. We can do it with the silver and actually be beneficial to us and not harm our bodies in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, imagine that, a toothpaste that's actually healthy. Guys, I had no idea, I really didn't until I met Larry, that there was so much nefarious stuff in the non-fluoride, quote unquote, healthy toothpastes. It's just more of the same. These corporations. Look, Crest bought Tom's. When was that? 2017, Larry?
2013,
Yeah,
and then
it's
actually
just.
Colgate just bought Hello, so that's another brand.
Oh,
They
great,
were
because I have Hello sitting in there right now in my bathroom. I
It's owned by
tell you,
Colgate now.
they get you coming and going because this system is owned and operated by
Yeah.
absolute criminals. They bought up pretty much everything of consequence, and then when new companies start up that are doing alternative stuff well, that's healthy, they buy those and then they
Just
pollute
buy
them.
them up. Right,
Oh my
exactly.
God, Larry, what a horror show! All right, Larry Obereu, founder of Fresh Mouth, is our guest. Appreciate you, Larry. Thanks for the education today.
Hey, no problem, Sean. Thanks. It was really a pleasure. Pleasure.
All right, brother. All right, guys, the links are below. I thank you all for tuning in very much. They seem out to get us one way or the other. They don't want you in silver and gold. They don't want you in Bitcoin. They're attacking crypto. Silver and gold are plummeting. The tech stocks, I don't know, looks pretty shaky to me. I'm not sure where to find respite in the storm, guys. I will leave you with this. I continue to stack physical silver and hold it in storage at the armed guarded facility at SD Bullion because I don't know what else to do. I don't know where else to go. And I think when this show finally ends, the physical precious metals are going to be about the only stores of value, real value left on planet Earth. Larry, do you agree with me about that? Or do you think I'm just pumping my own bag?
I think you're 100% spot on with that. Yeah, there's no question. Silver and gold are gonna emerge. They're gonna skyrocket, and I believe that we're gonna have some new currency coming in. So I think it's all a positive thing. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. A lot of people are, all kind of getting concerned about it and crashing the dollar, and that's exactly what needs to happen. We need to have a new system come in that replaces the old one and something that's non-corruptible.
Yeah.
And because we know we got a lot of that.
Yeah, good luck to us all. Say no to a CBDC because they're going to try to usher something in, guys, and push it out as though they're the saviors, but it'll be even worse than the system we lived under to this point. All right, guys, our guest has been Larry Obereu. Thank you, Larry.
You bet. No problem.
All right, friends, thanks so much. I'll remind you every single day for free. Check us out to get the real news, the antidote to corporate propaganda 24/7 at sgtreport.com. The links are below. God bless you and yours, friends. Bye-bye.
We are commercial entities. They've commoditized everything, and that's why we're renters in our house. We rent our cars. We rent our houses. We'll be renting the air pretty soon if we don't change course. If we let them continue to treat us as our overlords instead of the servants that should be over in their servant quarters or wherever we allow them to be, because we, the people, are ultimately in charge.